Welcome again to Save Your Money, Save Your Teeth, the go-to podcast where curiosity meets dentistry straight from the experts. I'm Ian and I'm joined by our expert, Dr. Clifford Yudelman from OptiSmile. And we're once again ready to take a deep dive into the world of dental care from a consumer's perspective. If you're looking to brighten your smile or maybe just protect your wallet, we've got you covered with practical advice and the latest insights. So do stick around as we uncover the secrets to maintaining both your dental health and also your finances. Dr. Clifford Yudelman joins us again, and today also we're still with the Yachties, and today dealing with and preventing dental emergencies for the Yachties. Dr. Yudelman, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back. And today we'll finish up our Yachty mini-series. We've had a great reception from the Yachty community. People are reposting our Yachty podcasts on their Facebook groups and sending it to each other. We've seen this week alone, we've done 4 video consults for people coming back to Cape Town for a short period, Yachties in particular, and they want to get their scans for Invisalign. The one is only going to be back for about a week. We're going to do all the scans and prepare everything, and then she's back in March for several months, so she'll be able to get going when she's back. Sorry, she's coming back in April, so there'll be a bit of a delay. But yeah, we're really enjoying working with the Yachties, and we're getting more and more at OptiSmile, and I hope this podcast today is of great interest to our Yachty patients who we see already and our future Yachty patients.
Awesome. Now, Doctor, from your experience, what are the most common dental emergencies that Yachties deal with while they are at sea? And why do these issues arise so frequently on board?
In terms of frequency, it's hard to say, but obviously Yachties will get all the kinds of problems that the everyday person would get, but there's additional things like slipping on a wet deck, or if you're in rough seas, chipping a tooth. If your bottom teeth hit your upper teeth, you can get some small chips. If it's a bad slip, someone can even knock a tooth out. So, it's not like you should walk around on the deck wearing a mouth guard, but do be careful when the decks are wet and especially during rough seas. Another one is when they maybe on time off. There's a lot of partying that goes on apparently, and I had a patient that's coming to see us for some injection molding. She had perfect, beautiful teeth, and there was a party, and she was drinking champagne from the bottle, and someone turned around and bumped the bottle by mistake.
Ow.
And she chipped her 4 front teeth. Yeah, they weren't painful, but they just took the corners off. All 4 front teeth were completely chipped. So even though this happened with a champagne bottle, we generally call it a gincident, because sometimes it's gin and tonic, sometimes tequila, but it's called a gincident when there's alcohol involved. So yeah, watch out for that type of thing. I don't think it's a good idea to ever drink anything from the bottle, and because it is so easy for the bottle to chip your teeth. There's the everyday things. Look, a lot of people, you don't have to be stressed from the fast pace of yachting. Any work can cause stress, but if you watch some of these series and that about yachty life, you can see how stressful it is. People are coming back on board, and you've got to get the boat ready, and some king or queen or pop star is coming to visit, and you're clenching and grinding your teeth, so your jaw problems can arise, and if you're not careful, you can pop your jaw, and that can lead to an emergency. So just like the everyday person, if you're not getting regular checkups and you got crowns or inlays or fillings that haven't been checked recently, you can pop out a crown or lose a filling or break something. And so it's important, for preventing these types of things to make sure you get regular checkups. When you come to Cape Town, we can fit you in on short notice. Or if you live elsewhere, just make sure you see your dentist whenever you can, every 6 months if possible, but at least once a year, because limited access to immediate care can amplify small issues and can turn them into much bigger emergencies by the time you get back home. I've been learning that a lot of yachties, a lot of yachts, the higher end super yachts actually cover any kind of dental emergency. So if anything like this happens, you would see a dentist. Say if you're on the coast of France, the captain will pull in and you go see the dentist. If you do knock a tooth completely out, then you need to refer to our previous podcasts to do with these types of things. We're just going to speak generally today. So, and I know you got some other questions, so I think that was a good answer. What do you think?
Yeah. It was very good. It was very good, Doctor.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah.
So,
okay, great.
So, when a filling comes loose or a tooth chips in the middle of a busy charter, what practical first aid steps can the yacht crew take right away?
So, if it's a small chip and your tooth is very sharp or rough and it's not that visible, you should try and just get that chip polished if it's not a cosmetic issue. A lot of dentists are not going to like what I'm saying. Give me a call and I'll guide you on WhatsApp. You can maybe even polish it very gently yourself if it's really sharp. That's if it's a front tooth. But I don't generally recommend that without the help of a dentist. That's if you're in an extreme situation, maybe way out at sea crossing the Atlantic or something, and you're a bosun or, it's rough seas and you just need some help. Just call me on WhatsApp. I'll help you. If a filling falls out, rinse with salt water. You could even use a bit of seawater just to clean everything out. If it's a big gap in the back and ideally the captain should keep a temporary filling kit in the first aid supplies. Check with the captain. These captains are very experienced. They've been around for a while and a lot of them might have an emergency dental kit. If you're a captain listening to this, you can contact us directly and we can help you put together a dental emergency kit. Stick to soft foods, avoid biting directly on any injured tooth. If you bump a tooth and it's not knocked out completely, but it's just only slightly loose, avoid biting on it. And don't put any pressure. A loosened bumped tooth can actually tighten up and be okay. It can be very sensitive to cold initially, but then settle down. When you do see the dentist, you want to get an X-ray to check that the root isn't fractured, and also for the dentist to check the tooth that the nerve isn't dying. Make sure you tell the captain or the bosun if it is something that's urgent and needs immediate attention, so you can return to shore if you're not at shore, or they can stay in port a bit longer. We have some further info later in this podcast. I'm sure from one of your other questions, we'll get more into that.
So if the captains or the bosuns want to set up a simple on-board protocol for dental issues, what essentials would you say should they keep in the yacht's medical kit?
Include emergency drills, and by that I don't mean dental drills. Have a process in place or a guideline in the overall safety briefing when you get new members. Tell them that their smile and their comfort and their confidence and their mood and all of that is very important to the guests, and that any little niggly thing can interrupt. They could be thinking more about their tooth, playing with a rough spot with their tongue. Don't ignore these. Just bring it to the attention of the captain or your main supervisor, the bosun or the chief stew. Let the crew know that this is important. If there's pain, I'm a big fan of I don't like codeine type medications. I wouldn't suggest giving very strong painkillers. When you go to hospital, if you're in severe pain, they actually give you Panado on a drip. So, 2 Panados in between meals, and 2 Nurofen or ibuprofen, 400 milligrams with meals. You're doing that 400 milligrams 4 times a day with food, and it's not working. You can do 2 Panados in between. That's if you've got severe pain. That should work for most painful situations. If someone just had a tooth extracted on shore, and they come back on board, and the it's quite painful. If they take codeine and so on, and they're in the engine room, they could cause an accident. Codeine will dull your senses. All these ethidine and very strong drugs, which they might dish out freely in Italy or France, or they could prescribe something that's way too strong. I think the over-the-counter painkillers are better. There's not much that you can put straight on a tooth. Some people say that clove oil helps. I think maybe, in the moment, you could probably put brandy or whiskey there. Just make sure you swallow it. And I recommend at least doing it at least 4 times. That should kill the pain. That's just a joke there. But, sailors have long used special brandy, I think, especially for that. There's amazing brandy from Barbados that I think is the oldest in the world that seafarers from the British Navy used to go and pick up there. They made it specially for them. And then, the captains, can always keep a dental contact sheet, recommended dentists in frequently visited ports. Don't let it escalate mid-charter, but depending on where it is, if it's a day or two from the end and it can wait, don't let it bother you too much. But, if you're going to be really busy, try and sort this out before it gets worse.
Okay, and why do you recommend a comprehensive dental checkup before a crew member heads back to the hectic charter season? And how can it save both time and money?
So, look, a stitch in time saves 9, and that's what our podcast is about. The thorough exam helps catch minor issues like small cavities or old fillings that need replacing before they become serious. Pre-season care will typically be more convenient and cost less than any kind of emergency procedure, which might involve root canals or extractions at some foreign port and paying in euros. Even if you have you are insured by the yacht owner's insurance or by the special medical and dental care, you want to try and avoid root canals wherever possible, or extractions. It reduces the risk of downtime or disruption in the middle of a charter. Nobody wants to be sidelined by tooth pain or something that's broken. And, the crew can enjoy peace of mind, focusing on guests rather than worrying about a tooth acting up on board.
Sounds good. And then, Doctor, what sorts of insurance or coverage options do you suggest for yachties who might worry about unexpected dental bills while they are on contract?
If your yacht provides medical coverage, it's always a good idea to ask whether emergency dental care is included. Sometimes that's handy if you haven't had time to get something fixed while you're at home and it's going to turn into an emergency. Make use of that plan. We've had patients that come and get care. They're on contract and their insurance will cover them even off season. They really look after the more senior crew. They get, it's like working for an American company where you have proper dental insurance. It's not like some of our medical aids here in South Africa that hardly pay anything. Some of them have very good dental proper insurance, not just like a medical aid. And so that's nice if you have a job that has that, and then make sure to find out if you can use it while you're in Cape Town. Some of them might have orthodontic benefits. You never know. A quick chat with your dentist about what your plan does or doesn't cover. The dentist can look at your plan for you and help you, but don't go and get a whole lot of work done expecting the yacht to pay, and it's only there for emergency treatment, for instance. So I think trying to get your own plan on your own is not only going to be very expensive, it could be a waste of money. I always used to tell my patients the best dental insurance comes in a little white box. You just open it up. It's called dental floss, and preventive care, will save your money and will save your teeth.
Okay, and now, Doctor, if a yachty needs urgent care during a European season, what resources or strategies help them find a trustworthy dentist quickly in those unfamiliar ports?
I've seen on some of the Facebook groups people asking for various things. There's crew forums, the social media groups, there's WhatsApp groups, and often people will have recommendations for reliable local dentists. Many marinas provide a list of local healthcare providers. Don't hesitate to ask at the marina office. I'd watch out a little bit for that. The guy could just be recommending his cousin, or he may send you to a very expensive dentist that may not be the best dentist in town and getting a kickback. Even though these things are frowned upon, people look for ways to make a living, and I'd be very wary of someone trying to talk you into going and getting elective cosmetic dentistry in some foreign port. If you're off the coast of say Turkey or Greece or something, and there sounds like a deal that's too good to be true on veneers. Listen to our podcast about Turkey teeth and veneers. Don't go and do something on the spur of the moment. That just came to mind. It's a bit off subject here, but always contact your home dentist. Like at OptiSmile, each of myself and my other dentists will always be happy to WhatsApp with you pretty much up into the evening, depending on where you are. Luckily, Europe is pretty much on the same time scale. My patients all have my phone number. Just give us a call. Or if you can't call, get on a WhatsApp. We can set up a Zoom or Google Meet, and we can give you advice on the spot. That's an advantage of coming to OptiSmile. Just a little plug there. We really look after our patients 24/7. If I'm awake and a patient sends me a message, sorry to bother you, but my filling just fell out. It's not sore, but can I see you guys tomorrow? And I don't care if it's 11 or 12 at night. If I'm awake and I see the message, I'll log into the office and I'll make sure that they can have restful sleep knowing that they've got an appointment in the morning. That's what looking after your clients or your customers is all about. And maintaining digital records like x-rays on your phone speeds up a diagnosis when you do find a dentist. We have all our patients come in, they get photos and x-rays and scans, and these are readily available. For patients that work overseas, I always email it to them. They keep it on their Google Drive so they have it handy 24/7 should they ever need it. And it saves a lot of time and money. If you give us a call and you say, my filling on the upper left fell out, you did warn me about it. I didn't have time to get it fixed while I was in town, and now it's fallen out. We can log into the office if we're not at the office, or we can jump on, and we have a photo of it. We have a scan, we have an x-ray, we have some AI that's got a diagnosis of the tooth. We can WhatsApp that straight to you. So when you go to the dentist knows exactly what's going on before they even look in your mouth. So that's a great opportunity right there.
Yeah, and well done. You're really going the extra mile there for your clients, Doctor. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
So how do you advise yacht crew who discover they need more extensive treatments, let's say an extraction or a root canal, but they only have a short window off charter? How does that work? What do you do?
So if a tooth is starting to act up, if it's getting sensitive to cold and it only lingers for 10 seconds or 15 seconds, you still have time to actually get a filling in most cases to fix whatever's causing the problem. Listen to our episode on root canals and how to avoid them. Do try and get it sorted as soon as possible. Book a video consult with us at OptiSmile. We'll let you know whether it's very urgent and you should see someone at the local marina, or if you can wait until you get home. If a tooth is sensitive to cold and it just throbs or aches or it hurts all on its own, that is an actual emergency. You would need to get a root canal started as soon as possible. but you don't have to have the root canal completed at that dentist. So to do what's called the initial palliative treatment, or to get a root canal started, dentists would numb you and clean out the cavity or the filling, and then just do an initial clean out of the infection in the root, and then put medication in the tooth. And I would just recommend that to take away the pain. I would not recommend that you get a root canal completed while away. A root canal needs to be done properly, preferably first time. If it's not done properly the first time, there is a chance to do a retreatment, but it just gets more expensive and more difficult. So I would just do the initial palliative treatment, which can be quick. Most dentists can do that for you in an hour, and there's less risk than having them complete the root canal. Once the root canal has been completed, your tooth can break or split, or once they've taken away the pain by doing medication, you're still in a dangerous situation where you can get another infection and end up on antibiotics or swelling. So you do want to get it treated properly as soon as possible. If this has happened to you and you're only going to be in Cape Town for 3 or 4 days or a week, we'd love to book you in ahead of time for a full consultation. So for that, you'd send us a new patient form, a few photos of the problem area, get on a video consultation. We can normally book those at very short notice. It's anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. And then if it's a week or two ahead, we can book you an hour and a half appointment for the day you arrive, and then with time to finish the treatment before you leave. You don't want to give us a call, on the day, oh, I need a root canal and I'm leaving tomorrow, because it could be quite difficult to sort that out.
And for those undergoing longer-term procedures such as Invisalign or veneers, how do you adapt their treatment plans to accommodate a life spent moving between ports?
So that's not really about emergencies, but it is something that bothers people. So we schedule remote check-ins with video calls, with photos. We've got Invisalign virtual care. We can pre-plan. We don't like to do veneers at OptiSmile in many, many cases. If someone's teeth are straight and they've already whitened them and they don't like the shape of them, we had a couple that are dating. They're both from Durban, and their teeth were in this situation, and they came in. They work separately, but they catch up with each other in France or Italy or wherever, and then they come back home to Durban when they're off. They've synchronized their schedules, and they both did video consults. They came to see us, and they both came at the same time, and I did injection molding on the female, and the male had injection molding with one of our associates. They were only in Cape Town for a couple of days, and we got them sorted out. Not every dental practice or dentist has had the kind of experience that we've had in being adaptable and making these types of treatment plans. We remain flexible because we know that yachty life isn't always predictable.
And Doctor, I want to ask you also, what are the potential risks when yachties tough it out and postpone those dental treatments until the off-season? Have you seen any serious complications from this approach?
So the most common thing that I would say can happen is if you start a season and you've got a impacted wisdom tooth that's poking through the gum, the tooth has never bothered you, and you're planning on getting it out sometime in the next year or two, and it's not urgent. And then all of a sudden, you find that you're a bit run down, or you're not sleeping well, or you get a bit of a cold or a flu and you're a bit run down. The wisdom tooth can flare up. So rinsing with with warm salt water is a good idea, and starting on antibiotics under the direction of a dentist. Be happy to do a video consult, but actually make that go away. Keep it clean, etc. Listen to the podcast about wisdom teeth, and you should be able to make it through the season. I wouldn't recommend rushing off to a dentist somewhere in Greece and getting your wisdom tooth out, because you will be out of action for about a week, depending on the dentist. small cavities can become large problems, leading to root canals or even losing a tooth. So again, prevention is better than cure. Save your money, save your teeth. Chronic pain is a big one. It could affect job performance, especially when you're interacting with VIP guests daily. All those guests are VIPs, and you're expected to be on form all day, every day, smiling and being pleasant. And if you've got a toothache, it's very difficult. And untreated infections can escalate to abscesses and even bigger issues. You just don't want to go there. And we've seen crew return needing emergency extractions that could have been simple fillings a few years earlier. To be honest, that doesn't happen very often. Most of the people we see have got really good teeth. The main concern is either the color of them, or they had braces and they've gone crooked, or they just need a refresh. They've had some bonding or work done that they're not happy with. But a lot of this is more extreme, just somebody who's not really looked after their teeth their whole life.
And finally, Doctor, if you had to share one overarching strategy for crew looking to stay emergency free and keep a great smile on board, what would it be?
Yeah, so to repeat myself, prevention is everything. Regular checkups, cleanings, early interventions save loads of trouble later. That's tip number 1. Number 2, stay proactive with your oral hygiene on board. Brush and floss diligently. Don't ignore any minor problems. Listen to our previous podcasts. We've done a few regarding that. Number 3 is make the most of your off-season time, whether you're in Cape Town or back home in I doubt that we got too many Yachties from Joburg, but let me know if I'm wrong. If you're back in Durban or PE, come to Cape Town or find a dentist over there if you don't have one, and tackle any problems at least once a year. If you can, twice a year, but at least once a year. And the last one is, remember, a healthy smile isn't just about looks. It's about comfort. It's about confidence and being ready to shine for your guests. And that's what this business is all about. It's about the guests and about just making the most and giving your employer the best of yourself and having great, healthy teeth, no toothaches, being confident in your smile. And, just a word, even if your smile, even if one tooth is a bit crooked or you don't have the greatest looking teeth, it probably bothers you more than it bothers other people. I've seen people with what would be considered pretty bad looking teeth, but healthy, I'm saying, crooked, but maybe crooked and a bit yellow, but they ooze confidence and they smile and they laugh. And it's really something I would encourage people. If you can't afford Invisalign right now, or it's just not convenient, just remember to smile. Everyone will smile back. Nobody really, I think, cares about the way they look more than you do. And as long as they're not rotten or your gums are unhealthy, just don't worry about it too much. That's, I don't want to keep going on the cosmetic side because, my own teeth are crooked and I've got gaps between my teeth. Someone once told me everyone looks good on the radio. So I thank you, Ian, for not showing too much of my own smile during these. But if you come on my social media, my Facebook and my Instagram, I've actually recorded some video of me doing these podcasts. If you want to see what I look like, come to Facebook or Instagram, where we re-promote our podcasts. And definitely on our website, if you go to resources, there's blogs, and all of our podcasts are there. They're on eRadio, they're on Castbox, they're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, they're on Apple. And thanks to eRadio, Eon and his brother, I think this is podcast, number 45, Eon?
Yeah.
Where are we up to now?
Yes, 45.
Yes. 45
Going for
podcasts.
50.
If I haven't put you to sleep with this one, go back and listen to some others. They should put you to sleep. So.
Dr. Yudelman, thanks so much. Another great, very, very informative podcast. of Save Your Money, Save Your Teeth. And we thank you for sharing your expertise with us. So much appreciated.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to speaking to you next week.
Absolutely. And remember also to all our listeners, while we strive to provide valuable advice to you, always consult with your own dental professional for advice tailored to your personal health. And don't forget to subscribe for more enlightening discussions. Do join us again next week as we continue to explore the fascinating intersection of dental health and financial savvy. Until then, keep smiling and taking great care of your teeth.
Discover the world of dental excellence with OptiSmile. Join us for a weekly podcast featuring Dr. Clifford Yudelman, a seasoned expert with 40 years of dental experience across 4 continents. Gain unique insights and expert dental advice by visiting optismile.co.za for articles that illuminate the path to optimal oral health. If you're seeking unparalleled dental care in Cape Town, get in touch with OptiSmile or book directly online on optismile.co.za. OptiSmile, where global expertise meets local care.